Worship electric guitar players. If you forged your sound in the era of cassettes and CDs, I have some news for you. The rules of great guitar tone have changed, and we need to change too. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Blueprint Sounds. My name is Nathan Smith. So glad that you joined me. Today I am here to help electric guitar dads. Right? You may have learned to play guitar in the age of the 3-minute guitar solo and the Guitar Hero, and times have changed since you were paying attention. You probably raised kids for a while and you came back, got back into it, but here's the thing. Some things have changed. We're going to listen to one song with two different guitar parts. One is the outdated model and one is the updated model, and I'm going to help you change 3 things about your tone to modernize it. So first, let's listen to the old school way of playing electric guitar.
Come and make it your home. Deep calls out to deep. You alone are worthy of a living offering. Come and make it your home. The gates are...
All right, let's listen to the new school example and talk about what needs to change.
Come and make it your home. Deep calls out to deep. You alone are worthy of a living offering. Come and make it your home.
So let's talk about what needs to change in our playing. First, your pickups. This is my Ibanez Art Core. I bought this when I was in high school, and I love this guitar. I mean, it's baby blue. I will never sell it, but I also never play it on a typical Sunday morning. And let me talk about why. Back in the 90s and the 2000s, what did everybody want? Everybody wanted a humbucker in the style of the Les Paul or the SG so that they could play the intro to Sweet Child of Mine and sound like Slash, right? That's what we all wanted. Then as the 2000s got going, we all wanted a PRS so that we could sound like POD, or we could sound like Creed, or name your favorite alternative band. The whole idea of that tone was, if I get big pickups and I stomp on my distortion pedal, I get this beautiful, huge tone when I play power chords. I get this singing sustain that goes and goes and goes. You know, think Carlos Santana. I feel like a bad dude. Well, guess what? Tones have changed. People aren't looking for that aggressive, upfront, in-your-face SG Les Paul sound. They're looking for the Gretsch sound. That Filtertron of that single coil breaks up in a really, really pretty way. It has a lot of nice top end and glassiness, and it sounds very chimey. It doesn't have a lot of low end or mid-range information, but that's the point, is that the guitar just sits where it should. Now, I don't have a Gretsch, but I do have a Tele and I do have a Strat. And so often what I'll do is I'll either use a Tele in bridge pickup position because it's close to that Filtertron, not quite the same, but it gets there. Or the Strat because the neck pickup on a Strat will never go out of style. Every generation, somebody rediscovers the Strat and like, this thing sounds amazing. Well, it does. In my mind, if I could only have one guitar, it would be a Stratocaster. And if I could only have one pickup, it would be the neck pickup. So try that out instead of your SG and your Les Paul. Get yourself a Strat, a Tele, or a Gretsch, and be okay with having a thinner tone and being the role player because it's still valuable where it sits in the mix. Tip number 2, turn off your distortion pedal. When you plug an SG into a Marshall stack and turn on the distortion pedal and you play a power chord, it sounds huge. And that's awesome because that's what distortion pedals do. They make things thicker. But go back and listen to modern worship and you'll notice how few times you hear a distortion pedal. Or if you do, it's very little distortion. Distortion thickens, but that's not what we want. We don't want thickness and density necessarily. Sometimes we do. But the modern worship sound for guitar is all about space. And we get that through reverb and delay. So I have on my pedal board an MXR reverb and I have an MXR analog delay. And the thing about the delay that gets you that modern sound is the little button that says modulation. When I turn that on, it detunes just slightly the echo of my guitar. And by detuning that echo, it thickens up the sound, but it thickens up the expanse. It thickens up the sustain that comes after the note, not the note itself. And that's the difference. The SG Les Paul sound with distortion, that sounds really thick and heavy, but it also makes things feel kind of cloying and bogged down with all of that mid-range information. Not to mention it gets in the way of the vocals. But a single coil pickup, played with a little bit of delay and reverb, gives you that sense of that air, almost like there's a synth pad after your guitar. That's the modern sound. So get yourself a reverb and a delay pedal, sell one of your 5 distortion pedals, and your whole band will thank you. The third tip for getting a modern worship sound is to ditch your power chords. I know when you play power chords with an SG, through a distortion pedal, through a Marshall stack, it sounds gigantic. But that's not what we need, right? Because there's a whole band, and remember, in modern playing, the electric guitar is much more of a role player. It's not the meat of the sandwich. So, go up higher on the neck and play 1, 2 notes on the E and the B string, play arpeggios instead, and you'll find that you have a glassier, more expansive tone that makes the whole band sound bigger, oddly. By playing something smaller with reverb and delay, we make the band sound bigger. By playing by playing power chords with the distortion down on the guitar, we make the band somehow seem smaller because we're taking up all of that room and suddenly there's no feeling of air. There's no feeling that there's anything going on above your head. So if you take up too much room as the electric guitar player, your band feels cramped. But if you take up less room on the electric guitar, your band feels open because you can hear everything. That's the secret. So to recap, if you want to have a modern worship guitar sound that will actually make your band sound better, get rid of your double coils and go for single coils. That would either be a Gretsch, a Strat, or a Tele. Then, turn off your distortion pedal and turn on a reverb and a delay. And if you can get a delay with a little modulation on the echo, even better. Number 3, go up higher and play less on the neck, but play arpeggio patterns and add another melodic element to your band. Don't play power chords because that actually makes your band feel more cramped and gets in the way of other instruments. Hey, I hope that helped. If you'd like more videos like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or better yet, go to blueprintsounds.com. There you'll see a link for my workshop, 5 Elements of a Full Sounding Worship Team. That explores this idea about what the guitar player is meant to do in modern day in much more detail, and you'll learn a lot. So, I'll see you there, but until then, God bless and goodbye.